Welcome back to Wildly Abandoned, the show where the exes are fine, but their fiancés are finer. I am DG Holstein, the voice of Frank and Orville in Heinous Investigations. With me, as always, is our amazing creator, writer, director, producer, and voice on Heinous Investigations, Jessica Castro.
Hi, made the thing. Elliot Sy, what's up? I don't know why I did. I just had a really long drive yesterday.
You can do anything your heart desires.
There was no sleeping, and then there was all the sleeping. And now I'm here. Okay. Yes. Hi, I am here. And also we've got Jamie back here again. Been a while since we saw Jamie, who is playing our very special character, I guess you could say.
The lovely, I'm allowed to name her, right? It's been too long.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, the lovely, the lustrous, mysterious Genevieve St. Clair.
Yeah. We'll get into talking about her.
I just realized I said lustrous instead of illustrious.
I mean, it's lustrous. I think.
A little.
Yeah.
But respectfully.
Yes. We've also got Emily back here with us. I think for this arc, I think you can say her character's name, even though she's not in the episode. Little teaser, okay. I guess.
Hello. I'm Emily, playing various voices throughout the series. Yes. And right now, in this arc, I am Maisie.
Yes, Maisie. Love it. Yeah, she's great. Can't wait for her. Yeah. And now for the first time with us, we have the fantastic voice of Miss Vera Goring. Sarah is with us. Go ahead and say hi.
Hello.
Yes. Oh my god. This is gonna be a time.
I am excited. I've been waiting for this.
Oh yes. Sarah's played playing a few characters on Heinous Investigations. I think we can say at this point season 1, hopefully, of multiple. Yes. And yeah, Vera is the first. And then
absolutely my favorite character to play so far.
Yeah. Oh, she's
Sarah just kind of showed up. We were all just like, can we keep her?
Yeah.
Essentially.
We did like our read-throughs, our rehearsals of the episodes that Vera's in, and we're like, do you want to keep coming back and like doing voices?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like not only are you a delight as a person, like I absolutely respect you as an actor, just very, very much.
You. Wow,
yes.
thanks.
You are so wonderful. So yeah, guys, we've hit episode 10, double digits. Every milestone is a milestone. Like, it's a big deal for us. Honestly, it's just like we got like this many listens on an episode. Good job, guys. Yay. But it's important. It's important for morale.
It is.
Our first episode. Yes, our episode is
baby.
Officially halfway to 1,000 listens, which is pretty
dang
cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, numbers are, I think, because it's the summer and it's like prime podcast listening time, I guess. Our numbers have been like going up, which is fun. But enough about boring analytic stuff that no one cares about. Let's talk about episode 10, which is the beginning of an arc that we call many things. But in order to not spoil, I will call it by the given name, My Fair Algy, a play on My Fair Lady. And the best way, except, what is it? I was going to say, play on the phrase My Fair Lady for reasons, if you know anything about the musical My Fair Lady or Pygmalion that it's based on, makes quite a bit of sense. And Algy's in there because this is the arc that I think is best described as peak Algy. It's Algy at his most Algy, essentially.
Yep. I don't know that finest is quite the word to describe what he
Algy prime, the most distilled algae.
Yeah,
it is. You thought he couldn't get worse, and then he did. So yeah, it's a pretty fun. This is, I think, again another favorite arc. I feel like every arc we say is our favorite, but
I feel sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, he's like, this is the one that got us the most laughs though. In
Oh,
like
definitely.
rehearsals,
Like in
or one of the
rehearsals,
ones with the
and
most
just
laughs.
everybody keeps going back to this one for like highlights. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we can also say, because I think it's apparent from the first episode, this has also won the prize of horniest story arc.
Of the whole arc, yeah, I would say.
Yeah.
Horniest,
Oh,
sexiest
yeah.
Everybody
story
kind of
arc.
has their own experience in this arc.
Oh, this one was also.
If only Elena was here, she would have helped corroborate that so much.
Oh, next time.
Oh yeah, the chat during these rehearsals was
Oh my gosh.
there was all of the bonks, and they were all deserved.
So many
Yeah,
bombs.
that's fair. This is the one where I found out that apparently I can write sexy things, which I don't think I had ever tried before this point. So yeah, so Vera, Algy's ex, shows up. That's definitely an interesting inciting incident, which actually kind of leads me, I actually remembered to write down some questions to keep us on track this time. It is actually it is a general question, but also kind of has a little bit more specifics to it. What I mean to say is like, the general question is, what are your feelings about Vera, everyone? And then for Sarah specifically, how did you kind of channel, I guess, your Vera-ness, strategize like playing her? And for everybody else, just how do you feel about Algy's ex making an appearance, and like what were your like first impressions? I think we should start with Sarah.
Oh, start with me. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when I read kind of how Vera is going to come into, just even talking to people, she's already kind of has an air about her. She's like, oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to stumble upon you guys. I totally didn't know you were here. By the way, I'm having a great party. You guys are all invited. So
sorry, I was gonna say, I feel like we've all met one of those at some point.
Absolutely. Well, and it really made me excited to play her because it's just kind of like it helps embody. The best way I could explain it is like the popular girls in school that are just like, I'm super sweet. You guys all love me. I know you do. And then, you go talk to her friends. She's like, oh my God, can you believe it? Can you believe they're over there? So I'm basically just channeling a mix between elegant villain in any kind of cartoon, because that's my favorite tone to use when it comes to these characters.
Yes.
And then basically a prissy girl that nobody really likes, but they just pretend they like her. I just feel like I like to throw, how great and elegant I am out into the room. I just know everyone loves me.
It's also like on top of that, she's got like the fiance, so it's totally like those
Absolutely.
like popular girls in
That's
school.
what
Like, have you met my boyfriend?
Oh, Algy, have you met Stefan?
Yeah, pretty much.
I just pokes it. Stefan is great.
Yes. That's pretty.
You saved a puppy. Stefan saved 30 puppies. So
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, how the rest of you guys feel about this? Also, just one of Algy's exes showing up in general. Anybody expecting that one?
In general, it's a great concept. Just like the generally like is it fair to say misogynistic? But
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the misogynistic guy, having an ex who is like way too good for him, but also like yeah. But yeah, and just generally her energy is so fun to follow. And also, of course, I mean this in every positive way. Her voice is very, very hot.
Yeah, that's fair. I think we all agreed on that. As soon as Sarah started talking, I think the first time she read, every single one of us was like, "Whoa!"
The chat was full of like, "Oh my's."
Better not awaken anything in me.
I just remember like hearing it and being like, like usually I help people out with lines when we're reading through things, even if they have questions, but I was just like, okay, moving on. Let's grab shirt
Yes.
collar.
Yes, I definitely had fun with that later in the episodes. So that was great.
Here's her amazing sensual energy. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I feel like Vera is the ex we all want to be. But we're like, at least for me, it's normally on the other side with like Algy's reaction of like, oh, well, they have such a nice boyfriend and whatever else.
Yeah. What do you call it? I'm trying to think of anything else. Yeah, Dia, you got any thoughts as I think the only guy here currently?
I really like Vera. I would like for her to step on me, I think.
Where's Tuan when you need him?
That was a big listen. That's like listen, that's how else can you put it, you know?
That's just the way that it be sometimes. I get it.
She's a very domineering, she has an aura. It's just like she is a powerful woman, and
absolutely.
We know this show like is if this show is about anything, it's powerful women.
And would enjoy stepping on you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yes, I would say thank you. Yeah. But Sarah, Sarah, absolutely. She came in and she captured all of that energy from the first line. And yes, the voice is very, very hot, but that also built up this huge respect of like, Sarah's a good freaking actress, and she kills it at this role.
Oh, we probably should have. Before you jumped in on this, Sarah, we probably should have prepared you for all of the compliments that get thrown around at these things.
We like to talk about how much we love you, even when you're not around.
I think this is just, these things are just one enormous love fest. Honestly, every time we all get in a space together.
You know, I don't doubt it. You guys all freaking rock. And then it was, I'm not gonna lie. This is like, I think I said it before to you guys, but it's still true. This is my favorite project to be on because you guys are all so cool and it's so involved. Even the rehearsals are such a blast. So I'm not even kidding. Like, these are great. I was excited for tonight. I'm like, I'm ready. Let's go do this.
When I started this thing, I was like, this isn't going to be one of those things where I just send people scripts, say, do your takes and send the stuff back. I'm like, no. This is going to be like a freaking like fun community workspace, but also kind of family friend situation. I don't know. The point is, it's become one enormous love fest over time.
Yeah, I mean, the people on this project have become some of my absolute closest friends in a fairly short time. We've only been we've only been a group for a year.
Around a year today. Yeah, I think almost to the day was when I was sending out emails being like, hey, you want to be part of this thing?
I love that.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? 1 year, guys.
Dude, I remember I was Sorry that this is kind of off track from the episode, but since we're talking about how much we're all friends.
Okay, because we always stay on track with the episodes.
Remember how nervous I was when I got like the message on Casting Call Club from Jess being like, so we're gonna like have you have a callback for these. First of all, I had a callback for, I think it was like Algy and Orville. I didn't even have a callback for Frank. Which bummed me out because I really liked Frank. And I was like so nervous. I was like, God, she sounds so professional. How is this gonna be? And
little did he know.
Zoom call, and I was like, okay, so these people are my friends now. This is great.
Yeah, well, I love how you say I sound professional because hi.
You put a lot of work into that callback email, man.
Oh yeah, it's hard to tell in an email. Everyone's so professional in an email.
Yeah.
But that's funny because I actually tried out for Delia and I was like, I love villains. I'm not going to lie. They're my favorite thing to play.
They're fun.
So I wanted to be her at first, but I didn't get it. And then like a few months later, Jessica emails me. She's like, hey, I really loved your voice and I have this character coming up I really think you'd be great for. I'm like, yes, whatever you need, I'm right there.
That is true. Yes. Well, because I'll never forget when I heard, and I remember this now, when I heard your audition, I literally was like, damn, her voice is hot.
Oh
Dude.
because I was trying in that one. I was trying to channel. I can't remember her name, but the evil girl from Emperor's New Groove. I was
Yzma.
trying to like channel her
Oh.
so bad.
I think your
couldn't
voice is
get it.
just naturally attractive. Yeah, no, honestly, no. I remember like, yeah, no, you were definitely like one of the better Delia auditions I heard, but when I heard yours, I was like, because I had already written all these characters and I was like, so I'd actually kind of been thinking about it from the
I guess
beginning.
it's kind of like that fine line between when someone like as a character describes like evil things they're gonna do. It's the difference between the reaction being, "What are you gonna do to me?" and "What are you gonna do to
What are you
me?"
gonna
You know, like the very fine distinction that just a voice quality can have.
Yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah, speaking of Patreon, we have that.
Hey.
Hey, shameless plug at patreon.com/wildlypods. And we've also got a Redbubble shop, which is Wildly Pros, because I don't think I could do Wildly Pods. I really don't remember. Maybe it's because it sounds more sophisticated for Redbubble. Who knows? And then let's just rattle up. Why not? Let's just rattle off all the social media while we're at it. Instagram at Wildly_Productions, TikTok at Wildly_Productions, Tumblr at Wildly Productions, Twitter at Wildly Product One, Facebook at Wildly Productions, and then our YouTube channel, which is Wildly Productions. Okay, so that's done. I just realized I have a lot of echo in here in my.
And you just reminded me, I need to buy some
grandmother's
new
office
merch.
space.
I don't have enough merch of our stuff yet.
Agreed.
I realized that after this vacation that I desperately need a duffel bag, and guess what kind of merch we have?
Hey.
Oh.
So that's what I'm gonna do.
Oh,
Get
I
your
can use
get
that
your
duffel
heinous
bag, too.
investigations
Pictures.
duffel bags at Redbubble now.
All of the pictures with you and your mask. That
Actually?
mask is super cute.
Oh yeah,
It's a
I
good
forgot I have.
mask.
Oh yeah, we have masks, and God knows you should be wearing those masks. PSA from Wildly Productions.
All right, yeah,
Okay.
here's the next question. Do you think your character would wear a mask? That was a bit. You don't have to answer that.
As the person who wrote them, I would say almost everyone is a solid yes. The only one who I would question is Algy.
Algy would be a shit about it, but I feel like he'd put it on.
No, at the end of the
Oh,
day,
yeah,
I think
he
would.
puts it on like right
Yeah.
before entering the store.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. He would like anytime Jack showed up, he'd like take it off. But then the second that like he left, it'd be like, okay. Because I think Algy's a little too I don't want to say cowardly, but because that's negative, but I think he's a little too conscious, like self-conscious, and also just conscious of other people. Because Algy is actually very aware of the people around him. He just chooses to be a dick.
Yeah, weird. He's the kind of person that can read the room and then refuses to acknowledge it, which is it's one of the most endearing and frustrating character traits. Sorry, I'm a weeb, but there's this character in listen, the title of this sounds weird. I promise it's a good show. It's called Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. The main character, he's that same kind of brand where he can read the room. He just says, why would I want to conform to what other people are saying?
Are we sure you're not just talking about B-Stars? Because that just sounds like B-Stars.
No, these ones
It's
are
not-
very drastically different.
They're very different shows, but they're both very good. I would highly recommend them. Season
yeah.
2 of B-Stars recently came out on Netflix. Check it out.
I'm not there yet. Don't
I'm
spoil.
not caught up. I'm still, I think
Yeah.
I'm halfway through season 2. I'm not all the way through it yet.
I haven't
But
started.
you are
it yet.
right.
haven't started
Yes,
season
I
2
would
yet,
say
no.
B-Stars.
Anyway,
Yeah,
because
he's the same.
it just sounded Rascal Bunny Girl. I was like, hey, you sure it's not?
Yeah.
But anyway, sorry.
To explain that title would take longer than it's actually worth, so we can move on to the next question. I can explain it when we're not recording.
Sounds good. But actually, speaking of Algy, especially while Tuan's not here. Yeah, the next question was actually just Algy's relationships. What's your impression of his relationships with people? I feel especially romantic relationships, even though we've only had this one ex so far. Like, what's the vibe?
You know, he's got some work to be done on himself, by himself. Yeah.
That's the nicest way you could have put that.
Yeah, just
I was very diplomatic.
Yeah.
Jenny's just like, I hate that Jenny's classic riffing on the I think I can fix him.
It was
Yeah.
I like
that
that
line will
joke because
never
it's
get
very
old.
yeah, it's very rare that it's like, but that's not like the point though, Ginny.
Yeah.
I know.
I love that, like, I love that joke more than anything because it's funny when it's like being played in that like trope, I guess. Like, it's funny when it's being played seriously. It's funny when it's being made fun of. There's no situation where I can imagine myself taking that comment seriously. But
Yeah,
because it really doesn't feel like I don't know, maybe just because I've never encountered it. I don't think people say it in real life earnestly because it's an inherently false statement.
I mean, it is. I don't know if it is for other people, but it is inherent to me. I have had relationships, or like hopeful relationships, where it's like, okay, but like I know he's like not that nice, but like if he were to be nice to me, but they never are. But and it's like I want to be special. I want to be that one person that they're like comfortable with and stuff like that. But it leads to bad situations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I feel like we
could get
already...
so serious based on this one throwaway joke.
Yep, you really can, and that's why I'm trying really hard not to say anything else.
Such a great joke though is all of the layers.
Yes. I really wanted to write some flawed characters, and I think I balanced them out for the most part. Algy is one of the most flawed ones there are, but
he is.
But there's also something about him that is endearing.
I was gonna say,
exactly.
I don't know if it's because I don't know if it's because I played Vera or not, but I feel like Algy has like there's more to him than just being the goofy guy in the group. He's like he knows stuff. He's not an idiot.
Yeah.
But
at the end of the day, he is surprisingly thoughtful, and he cares a weird amount for his friends.
Yeah.
But he very much likes to cover that up in layers of slime.
Yes. That is true.
Yes.
I just think like he really is, he's a good person who just makes a lot of bad choices.
I feel like he's the type that's like he does worry about what everybody thinks of him, but he chooses to be like, okay, well, I'd rather know for sure that everybody thinks I'm a jerk rather than just constantly second guess myself.
Yeah, and I think just like when we did all that backstory stuff in the previous arc, I feel like that it kind of explains like why he is the way he is, and that he kind of his family background is very much like cover stuff up that looks even slightly concerning, which I think is like a big part of like he just felt like at that point he's like, well, I'm just gonna rebel anyway. If you're gonna just if you're gonna constantly try to stifle who I am as a person, I'm just gonna be even more of a myself than
if you're gonna clean up the messes I choose to make, then I'm gonna make bigger messes.
Yes,
which is
exactly.
Not the best way to approach mess making, but
like I said, bad decisions.
Yeah.
But that's definitely I think that's the best way to explain Algy pretty much. He's like, exactly, if people aren't gonna like me, I'm just gonna lean into it. Which is definitely good. And it's also, and you gotta admit, there are times where you can play it for laughs if this episode tells you anything.
Absolutely.
With his like whole, speaking of which, moving on to his zany jealousy scheme.
Oh man.
What I called it.
Man.
I think so a lot of issues about well, this is actually kind of a later question, but a lot of things about sex and gender coming up here a little bit. And definitely I wanted to try to approach it as like I was trying to play it mostly for laughs, but especially nowadays I feel like when we're really putting a huge lens up to sexuality and gender and things like that, just like it's very hard to try to, I feel like nowadays, to take a lighthearted approach to that without feeling like you're gonna hurt somebody in some way. But I tried to look at it in like the most general simplistic way possible, and I feel like and also like tried to kind of play up maybe some ignorance to some things in the simplest way possible, hence zany jealousy scheme.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked, I think I've had that, like that was like one of the ideas I had for like a while when I was coming up with script ideas, when I was like, I want to do a Jack and Algy episode or a Jack and Algy arc. I was like, what do I want it to be about? And given Algy's character, I'm like, oh yeah, this is the time to talk about this. But yeah, and like this is where like I also think Algy can like, you know, get ahead of himself and not think things through, and again making mistakes. Like he feels things very, very deeply, and I think his hot-headedness gets in the way of actual rational thought.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I do enjoy how much crap he gets for it though.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
that whole sequence of them setting up how Jack was gonna look and everything like that. And I was just like, what? I don't see anything wrong with this. And everyone's just like, how?
It's
How do
very
you not
fitting
see
though.
this?
Freaking
The character you've made just with the blinders of I have lived with no consequences, so this is obviously fine.
Mhm.
Or minimal consequences.
Yeah, Jack faces all the consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah, as is also evident in this. Speaking of Genevieve St. Clair, Jamie. Right down to the dumb name. How was that? I know we've talked about this outside of this kind of formal.
Yeah, honestly, she was so fun to play. And I love like getting to flex my normal voice, if you will. Just, you know, with the added weight of having Algy as a brother for 20 some odd years. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about before how well you like freaking matched Riff's energy.
Yeah.
He does Jack.
You
You want to
It's
talk about people?
insane.
Yeah, you want to talk about actors nailing it from line one. Like, holy cow. I think that was another moment in that first rehearsal when as soon as Genevieve had a line, we were just like, oh,
It's Jack.
oh yeah, that's Jack as a woman. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of like my backstory as a voice actor is like I don't know. I kind of like mimic things that strike me, you know, not necessarily to make fun of them. It's just like they make an impact on me in a certain way, and I want to replicate that. And so I don't know. I feel like that's kind of my superhero origin story. So.
Yeah, I think we've all definitely been there. I think that's how a lot of people get started with voice acting stuff is, you know, impressions and things like that.
Yeah.
I am terrible at impressions, but
yeah, it's just one of my favorite things to do. You know, just do, you know, impressions of like people and not in a mean way. It's just, you know, I love a thing about them, and so it just comes out of my mouth.
Voices are interesting.
They're fun.
Everyone is different. So it's not so much a bad thing in my mind to you know, kind of mimic a voice, because in my mind it's like I just find it so interesting. Like how do you make it sound like that? That is so interesting.
And
like because that's impressions can be kind of good in that same way where if you hear someone's voice and you try to replicate it and then you think about how you're doing it, it helps you figure out the mechanics of your own voice really well. And that was a big thing for me, is figuring out like I haven't had a chance to do it like on the show, but like I feel pretty good about like creature noises. And the reason that I did that is because I saw D. Bradley Baker make a bunch of creature noises, and I was like, how does he do that? I'm going to figure out how to do this. And then I worked on it. And what started as like an impression of D. Bradley Baker turned into like, oh, this is just how I like to do creature voices because they're so weird.
Yeah.
I
Now
feel
that
like
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I feel like somebody's voice also kind of is an example of who they are as well.
But yeah, if I can like swing back to the gender stuff, because there are a few other things I wanted to say about this specifically. It's just the last exchange I thought of was like the moment where all the guys just laugh at how like how Jack is basically going along with this, and like laughing at Jack for being female, which sucks because they're stupid. Yeah, essentially, because they all think it's funny, and there's nothing wrong with it. If you can be who you want to be yourself. The true message. of all of this. But yeah, how they're all being really stupid, but how even Jack, having never really done, anything like, having, Jack identifies as male and has always, lived his life that way. And he's also very, very confused as, I guess it's weird because I say he, but then also Genevieve is definitely, we also refer to Genevieve as she. So it gets a little shape-shifting shenanigans. Am I right?
Yeah.
But still, it's like, I guess you could say Genevieve is like new to this, and they have like this really awkward conversation where it's like these guys being really insensitive, combined with, female Jack Genevieve's like cluelessness. And then Ginny just happens to be there and doesn't say anything until Miriam shows up, and then it just all falls apart.
Yeah, that's honestly, that was really well written, because that's kind of exactly how it is. Like when you're the girl in a group of men.
For sure. Now, even like I've heard, guys, before saying stuff like this, not necessarily exactly like this, but I know I'm trying to think of a good way to say this. I don't want to name any names, but I know some people who are a little bit more old-fashioned and say these kinds of things, and joke about it. And it does kind of suck. But at the same time, I even feel like for myself as a woman, I like to just, I don't like to go with it necessarily, but I kind of like to do what Miriam does and just challenge it, but in a very, I don't want to say nonchalant way, but she's like, she just acknowledges and she's like, yeah, guess what? That's not enough to like mess with us.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at. It's just like, it's like, yeah, we get it. We do these things. You don't have to, it's nothing new. I don't know why you find this funny. It's like, yeah. And I wanted to get that across super hard.
Yeah, pointing out the absurdity of why they think it's funny.
Yeah.
Because it's just a normal thing that people do.
Yeah. Just like women like to do things that people describe as feminine. It's like, wow. It's like groundbreaking.
Really? Women are feminine? Yeah. Who would have thought?
I don't want to hijack the conversation. I'll let you guys kind of. I'm listening for this part, for the most part. But like, I want to talk about like the one connection I made between this moment and recently when I was watching like reruns of Friends, and Friends is kind of funny, but sometimes they just had the jokes for the time that were just like, wouldn't it be funny if this person was gay? And it's like, no, because that's just the person.
Yeah.
And it's kind of that same logic of like, of like, I don't, just someone being a thing isn't a joke.
Yeah, a lot of those 90s sitcoms, like again, my I saw a lot of reruns of Everybody Loves Raymond, I think on TV Land or something like that. And it's the exact same thing. A lot of jokes like, yeah, like wouldn't it be funny if this person was gay? And you're like, what? Like exactly what you said.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, it's very 90s humor to make fun of any kind of male person being feminine in any way is supposed to be funny. So it's just like, okay.
And and I really just love how I really wanted just Miriam to have that one. I didn't want it to be, and I didn't want it to be a big self-righteous like soapbox preachy speech either or anything. I just again, it's a thing that exists. Why do you find this funny? Who knows? You're being stupid. I'm gonna go drive now. Boom.
Yeah. That's it. I think that moment right there where she says, "I'm driving," is like that's her soapbox moment.
Yeah, it's just like this. Yeah, just like this lady's driving. Like this woman's driving. It's like, let's go. Yeah.
There is no question who the actual alpha of Heinous Investigations is. Let's be real here.
Yeah. There's a reason.
Carlton only leads because Miriam lets him lead.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Strong women, man. That's what this is about.
Strong women.
Yeah. Let me see. I think, that's pretty much everything. I mean, I want to get more into things like the other characters. I know we meet some other characters in here. Like we meet, Mike the bartender, love of my life, shows up in the beginning. Yeah. What a sweetheart. He's such a sweetie. But he like him and like also Stefan and Ethan you finally get to see at the end a little bit. But I feel like for for those characters, I feel like we haven't scratched the surface enough yet to really discuss them. And I kind of want to leave that to the next episode or the next installment of this.
Yeah.
For Mike specifically, I will say my impression of him is he's the simple small town hunk that'll make you realize the true meaning of Christmas.
That is accurate.
Bingo.
That is 100% true. That is him. And you get to see more of that in future story arcs. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. He is the simple small town baby.
I will also say it's a lot of fun for me because I'll listen to the episodes with my husband, who is like part of things. He knows when I have rehearsal, he hears things, but to hear his reaction of like, what? Who's that? Who voices that? Wait, this is an actual character? Is like, because I get so used to it in rehearsal of like, oh yeah, they're doing that voice again. It's great. I know that this is coming.
Yeah.
And then to hear him react is like, oh yeah, this is super cool.
Yeah, it is.
That was his. He freaked out over Stefan.
Yes.
We will get more
Stefan.
into that next time. But
Yeah.
Stefan.
Don't you worry.
Stefan. He's so sweet.
Yeah, sweet. That's what we're calling it.
Vera has entered the chat.
But yeah, I think my last little thing I want to talk about here is we've got a little bit of a B plot. Well, not a little bit. There's a B plot to this story outside of Algy and Genevieve's crazy mission, I guess you could say. I mean, obviously you've got some other stuff going around. Like there's something something suspicious from the get-go about Vera and this party that they're going to. Hence why other investigators tag along, namely Carlton and Martin, who I have unofficially called the Hardy Boys in this arc. Because come on. They're the normie boys going to do some searching. Solving some mysteries.
Mischief.
Yes. So, but I know they've got their own little, I wouldn't even call it a C plot. It's just them doing silly things. But I think we got a little subplot there with Orville and Ginny. I feel like we've kind of seen them interact a bit before this. And I'm not gonna say as of right now that Orville and Ginny it's funny because they don't interact that much, but their plot is very much connected. I feel like, because most of it I feel like is Ginny doing her thing and then Orville doing his Orville thing where he's in the background reacting, but differently than with previous interactions with other people. And I think what I'm getting down to here is I think we all see Orville's feelings at this point. I think we're all clear on this. I'm not, as we know, I'm not subtle with anything in this show. I mean everything to be like a freaking brick thrown at your face.
I love it with Orville though, is like in any other context, it would be subtle of like, oh, I didn't realize Jenny needed a date. But the fact that Orville commented is the like not subtle part.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, weirdly enough, the guy who passively reads everyone's minds doesn't like to get that involved. Like he'll say passive stuff like, oh, you're worried about Rachel, you should probably like talk to her or something like that, where it's like very vague. But the fact that it's just like, oh, I didn't know Jenny needed a date. It's different. The sense of I heard this, so I'm letting you know about it versus I was unaware of this. I wish I would have known. Where it's like, what?
Yeah.
And the voice of Orville himself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Honestly, this arc is very fun because having the most deadpan possible delivery and then being like, how do I make this sound jealous or rash or emotional? And it really is just sort of like you think really hard about the emotion and then the voice just kind of does it.
Yeah.
And you know, thankfully it's not super obvious. It's not super like subtle because again, it's completely outside of Orville's normal shtick.
Yeah.
But I hope at least that that's what it carried across because it's It's an interesting thing to be like, this is the most emotion this person has
Yeah.
ever shown in 10 episodes.
Yeah.
But it's still
And I
really
just-
not emotional.
I laughed
Yeah.
so hard when I first heard like playback of the episode, and I just hear like, what is it? Isn't it? Yeah, this is the one I think literally where like he's saying hi, like Ethan is saying hi to Jenny, and she does everything, and Orville just goes, "I don't like him." I'm like,
That's
yes,
enough. Yeah.
Hello there. I don't like him. Yeah.
yeah, immediately, like, yeah. And there's also just other like, and the other subtle things too, where it's like Jenny makes a comment about, oh yes, their aircraft has a name now, and it's the Mag Jet.
Yeah.
Because magnets. And and the fact that like Jenny agrees with it, and then Orville's like, I also agree with it.
Yeah.
Yes, I also like this
You're so
thing.
right. You're so
Yes.
right and
Have
pretty.
so much in common.
you're so right and pretty. You're absolutely. I mean, you're right.
I just think for him, like, Jenny is just so different than anything he really knows that he just is, I think, just extremely attracted to that. I don't know, but I feel like it's a combination of curiosity and romantic interest.
Yeah,
you
because
know?
it's also like he's
like, how
even
do you
though
live?
they haven't talked much, Orville just doesn't talk to people in general. So like she's the person that he has talked with the most out of this group of people. So it's like,
Yeah, they were forced to, but still.
yeah.
Well, I
Like-
feel like she also is like one of the only ones to actively show an interest in him as the person, instead of just like,
Yeah.
hey, Orville, punch this thing.
Yeah.
Very true. That Orville does is usually like the human utility,
Yeah.
like the freaking human. Yeah, I think that's honestly the good way to put it. Like a human like utility kit.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, that's what everybody's using him for, and it's like, again, I love Orville so much. I really hope to. I have so many plans.
Oh,
But
I love
yeah.
Orville. What a great boy.
And with that, I would like to enter what I am now calling the chaos round.
Oh,
of
God.
these.
Round two.
So guys, to honor, I would like to say, to honor what we are now calling the sexiest arc. I hope y'all are ready for some Boink, Marry, Kill, Heinous
Yes.
Investigations Edition.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I'm so happy I showed
not
up.
ready.
Yeah, this is my specialty.
I'm so glad this is my first episode.
So, yeah, my plan is, I'll let you know, for the next three Wildly
A visual joke
Abandoned,
just happened.
we will be doing 3 different Boink, Marry, Kills. This is the first one will be Heinous Investigations and themed, and then I will we're going to up the ante, I believe, with each round, but we're going to start with what we know and something easy. And I have put these into a random name generator, and these are the things I've come out with. And we have a couple characters from this arc, some of our new characters. We've got some but mostly it's our familiar people, with a couple of our investigators, with a couple others thrown in.
Now, is this us as like the actor answering this, or is
Yes.
this us as the
I sure
character?
hope so.
It's
Just
us
as
as the
ourselves.
actor. We
Okay.
can't go. I don't think
I'm
any
not
of us
going
are-
in as Vera.
I don't think
Okay.
any of us
Listen,
have
I
the
have a
energy
very
right
different
now.
sexuality from Frank. I'm sorry. I love Frank.
That's true.
Like,
I play an 8-year-old.
That's a good point.
Oh yes. Oh don't. Oh yeah. Let's put it out there. No children are in this. Put
Definitely
that out
not.
there. No. No. Big
this
no.
is us as adult actors talking about adult fictional characters.
Yes.
Correct.
So my daily life.
All involved are adults. So interestingly enough, first one to get thrown out there, actually, funny enough, Orville and Ginny are in the same block
Ooh.
here. We've got
Yeah.
Orville, Ginny, and our newcomer Stefan Niemeyer III.
Oh, this is a tough one.
boy.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Right.
Oh.
I'm guessing I will go around the loop, and I guess I will just start. Now I have to think for a sec. I mean, as great as Stefan comes across, and that voice, I think I'm gonna have to kill him. I'm gonna have to axe him. But that's so hard.
Regrettable but understandable.
Yeah. And then if I have to go with these, yeah, boinking not my forte, but I think I'd have to go with Orville. I just feel like based on his energy, I feel like he would just take it real slow, and that's what I need. And Jenny would be a fantastic wife. I think she would.
Yeah.
She loves love, man. She loves love. I think that's my final answer. And if I'm going around based on my screen here, we've got Dio up next if I'm going clockwise.
All right. Boink Stefan. 100%.
All right. I love that instance. Okay.
Like, listen, it's riff sounds so hot. How can I not? This next part is very difficult because these are two of my favorite characters.
One of them is you, so
I know. I know it is. I gotta go with Mary Ginny, just because she'd be a great wife. Sorry, Orville, my bud, my love, the guy who's one of my favorites, but he's you
gotta go.
You gotta die. He's a body pillow, you know.
I mean, I just had a really bad thought, but I'm like, if someone were to kill Orville, how long do you think it would take people to notice?
Oh God.
My sad afterthought is it would take as long as they need him for something.
Oh. No, I feel bad for laughing.
No, Ginny would notice.
I was gonna say she would notice pretty quickly.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm sorry. That was such a dark thought.
But
we all love Orville.
I feel like I can't kill him now.
All right, Sarah's up next.
Oh, this is a tough one because I have to be impartial to Stefan. But I think I think mine's actually pretty similar. I think I would boink Orville and then I have to marry Ginny because she's too sweet. I can't.
Yeah,
I just can't.
Sorry,
so I'd have to kill Stefan. I was really tough because between the two, between Orville and Stefan, it was really hard for a while. But
yeah,
Orville's so mysterious. It's kind of hard.
And he's really tall. I had to say, love the tall.
Tall, dark, and mysterious. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah.
Emphasis on the tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I play the tallest members of the cast, and I am not. I'm average height.
That is true. They are the tallest boys.
God,
Okay.
Orville's hot though.
Yeah. That time I made the freaking Hero Forge. I regret of him, the Hero Forge mini. I regret everything because my God, no one was ready for the hotness.
Oh no, he's hot.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Okay, Emily.
I would probably boink Stefan, marry Orville, probably kill Jenny. For me as a person, I'm a rather quiet person. And so she's got a lot of energy.
She does.
Yes.
It's a little much.
That's understandable.
I'm so glad I'm not the one that had to say it.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
I feel like Orville would make a really great, like if he's willing to marry you, if he's at that level, I feel like he would make a really good
yeah.
Yes,
it's true.
Just like cuddle up and read books by the fireplace.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's all I want in life anyways. That and a
Absolutely.
dog. I'm happy.
Yeah. And he can reach things on the high shelves for me.
Yeah. Jamie, does that mean that I would assume that you're going the same direction?
Mostly, yeah. Definitely Orville is absolutely my type. He's tall.
Period.
And then this was a really tough choice for me, but ultimately I've decided there's just no part of me that is physically able to kill Ginny, both in like no, she's too sweet, I can't do that, and also like I'm not able to physically overpower her.
That's fair. Everybody remember that first episode where she freaking punches Carlton through a window?
Yes. Yeah, and so I'm sorry, Stefan, but as I drive the stake through your chest, I will give you a smooch. That's the best that I can do.
All right. Now here we go. Round 2. This is an interesting one. We got Vera, Miriam, and Jack. I feel like
can I just boink all of them?
This is so difficult.
I know. Oof.
Bro.
Ow. Oh, geez. Oh man. I think I
okay. All right. All right.
You know what, Jamie? If you got this, you go.
Yes. Okay. So, start with the easy one. I gotta marry Jack. He seems the most stable, and me personally, I need the stability.
Yep.
And I don't know. He sounds, taller than average. That's fine.
He's about average.
Yeah, and then I would have to say Miriam would probably be a bit too fierce of a boink for me. I'm very delicate. I need a lot of care, and she's already a mother to somebody else, and she doesn't need another child. So I'm afraid. I'm so sorry, Miriam, and I'm more sorry to Elena. I have to kill Miriam, and I'm so sorry. And then, but on the plus side, I get to boink Vera, and she's gonna whisper sweet nothings to me. So that's my plus.
Absolutely.
Cool. Okay. I want to go next because mine's very similar, but slightly different. Yes, marry Jack right away. Obviously, most stable. Love that. Great career. I will be his house husband. I'll do whatever. Boy, this is tough. This is because Vera is my number one boink for all the characters. But boy, I really don't want to kill Miriam because I don't want to make Rachel an orphan.
Oh, you didn't even think about that.
Yeah, so I don't care if Miriam will be like mad crazy. I'll boink her to save her daughter. Sorry, Vera.
That's such an interesting statement.
I was gonna say that's quite the reasoning there.
Save the cheerleader. No, it's tough.
I think
because
that proves that I don't deserve Miriam because I didn't even think about Rachel.
I mean, I can understand why you wouldn't think of Rachel.
I would fully boink both of those women. It's just like
yes, absolutely.
Miriam's just got that edge where it's like I don't think that it would be like husband wife stuff just because it's like I don't really know if that's her thing, but like I'll hang out with Rachel. I'll play catch with the kid. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm gonna shake things up a little bit. I think I'm actually gonna marry Miriam. I think that she's a badass who will protect me and also anyone else. And she's also proven that she is mom material. And then I think I'd boink Jack, actually. I think he would just be, I think he'd be very considerate.
That's true, yeah.
Gotta love that. And yeah, sorry, Vera. Bye. Sorry, Sarah.
Okay.
All right.
I'll say I have the exact same lineup as you for almost the exact same reasons of Miriam because she's a boss, and I mean you get a playmate with Rachel. You get someone to have fun with, even when her mom is trying to kill you. It's fine.
Yeah, it's great.
Jack for boinking. Also, shape-shifting could be very interesting in that scenario.
Oh no, I didn't even think about that.
Oh, the possibility.
Kind of more benefit from marrying him. We have all the time in the world.
All right.
I guess I'm last. So I'm also gonna marry Miriam just because her character I kind of think meshes, not the crazy part of it that you guys are mentioning, but I feel like she kind of meshes with my personality pretty well. So I think that would be a good marriage. And I don't mind having a little daughter.
Rachel's perfect.
And it's gonna sound weird, but I would boink Vera because, dude, she's freaky, and I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like she
Fair.
knows what
boy.
she's doing, and she knows what's gonna happen, and I think that would be really fun.
Absolutely.
Which unfortunately leaves Jack to be killed, but
Rip.
Mhm.
You
Someone
know,
had to.
God, the more we've talked about it, I feel like you guys have talked me out of my lineup. Mary Miriam, Boink, Vera, kill Jack.
Wow.
Upset.
Because
All right.
because yeah,
More riff for me.
I would love to have a little
Okay.
daughter. Like that's amazing.
I really
Yes.
cannot relate, but I totally respect that.
All I'm
All
saying
right.
is that
Sorry,
when you
Riff.
get married in the future, Dio, I'm gonna bring this clip to your future wife and be like, look, you're marrying a good man.
All right. So yeah, that next round. This one is Liza, Martin, and Cy, aka Demon Elliot,
Oh, okay.
is about to get crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So all right, I'll jump right into it
You go.
if you don't mind.
Mm.
All right, so we're gonna go the shallow route. I'm gonna marry Martin for the money. I'm gonna boink Liza because she's powerful and probably very hot. And then I'll kill Cy. He would probably go into dangerous things, and
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, that's fair. I don't know if I was muted, but that's fair. All right. So yeah, I think honestly, I think I'm gonna go similar route. I think Cy's just a little too crazy for me. Yeah, gotta have to kill that super fast. I know it's also me, but who cares? I think similar. I think marry Martin, maybe not for the money, but I just think I've said this before. He's got his stuff together and I don't. So I feel like
absolutely. Like again, I need that kind of stability.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think the stability in this situation, like that really appeals to me. Plus, I know for a fact that I could just see us like sitting out watching the sunset, playing South Pacific on like a record player.
That's
drinking
true.
some
Aesthetics
wine.
was a really good option that I didn't even think about.
Yeah, I just feel like it'd be very zen, very peaceful.
Yeah.
You know, just chill.
All right, I'm
and then
switching things
Liza's
up.
crazy, man.
Switching things up in a big way. Here we
Absolutely.
go. Boink Cy. I feel like that'd just be a very fun one-time thing.
Yeah.
We'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
Marry Liza. I've loved Liza since the beginning. I think she's just a very sweet redhead girl who's also a badass and is great. And I know it kind of ruins the spirit of the game, but maybe if we're married, we'll boink a little bit more than once, and that would be nice too.
I mean, well, no, that's definitely a factor into the marriage.
Yeah. I think everybody
Mhm.
always. Yeah, I think everybody always.
Which would
considers that in this game.
unfortunately leave kill Martin, which isn't all bad because maybe some of that wealth will go to his surrogate sister, Liza.
I was just gonna
So-
say that. Yep.
She is probably in his will.
Yeah.
I feel like Martin would be the kind of guy who would write a will in his 20s.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
I, Martin.
Yeah.
So of sound, will, and
Whatever.
mind. Oh, hereby.
Anything would have happened to me.
I feel like Liza would have made him before bringing everyone into the house.
Ooh,
That's
probably.
very fair.
She's smart.
Yeah. Between the two of them, they know what's up. Okay, yeah, then Sarah, what do you got?
I think mine's gonna be the same as Dio. It's we're gonna marry Liza and boink Cy for the same, basically it's all the same reasons. I mean, it's basically very, very valid points were made. So I'm just like, you know what? That sounds right to me.
Emily, what do you got?
Same.
Yep. Wow.
All
Good to
right.
know.
Also,
All right.
being a redhead, I would want small redheaded children, and now you can do
That's
the
true.
like
Preserve the redheaded population.
exactly. So
Very important. I was gonna say, it's actually very important. I said I'd go to Martin. How dare you?
300 people
All of you.
on the entire set. That's wild.
Well, that was a time, guys. I think it's safe to
Sure
say we
was.
should wrap this one up. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, see you guys next time, I guess, on another
Thanks for
episode of
listening.
Wildly.
Yeah.
What he said.
Yeah.
Wildly
We'll see you
Abandoned. Hit the
around.
like, hit subscribe, hit the bell, check out our podcast, check out all the stuff we plugged earlier.
Yeah.
Finger
Hit that
guns in the chat.
Patreon.